Thank you, Chris. I'll leave it with you.
Okay, thanks, Craig. So, welcome to everyone today. I really appreciate the time you've made to take away from your own business to come down and see us and discuss today. I wanted to make sure that when you came down, there was something valuable you can take away. And one of those things, when talking to Craig, was takeaways from Microsoft Ignite. Now, what is Ignite? Ignite is Microsoft's principal tech event of the year. This is where technicians from around the world go to find out the latest and greatest things with Microsoft technology and the direction that Microsoft is going to take us in over the course of the next 12 months. This year, it was held in Orlando from September the 24th to the 28th, and this year it was sold out, 30,000 attendees, over 1,000 sessions on everything from Azure AD to Microsoft 365 to Azure to Surface. It was all there. So it was a very important event, and I'm going to try and compress those 1,000 down into just 40 minutes. These are things which we think for the modern workplace. So when I talk about modern workplace, we're talking about Office 365, Microsoft 365, Windows 10, the applications and stacks that is going to help your users be more productive and more secure. Now, after today, one of the takeaways is that you can go on the Microsoft Tech community and see all of these sessions. They were all live streamed. So if you want to find out more, register for the Microsoft Tech community and get watching. The sessions are anywhere between 15 to 45 minutes long. So the first takeaway is all about tech intensity. Now, what is tech intensity? Satya referred to this in his keynote as the strategy going forward. Now, if you look up tech intensity on the net today, you'll find many different definitions. But boiling it down, it's about tech adoption, which is adopting the latest and greatest technology, and tech capability. So that's the ability to use it to meet the unique goals of your customers. And this is the message that Microsoft is trying to drive to its distributors, to its partners. To thrive in the digital economy today, we need tech intensity. So what does that mean for us? That means that we need to embrace the latest tech. We need to get involved in Office 365 and Microsoft 365 and Azure. We need to embrace the intelligent cloud and the intelligent edge going forward. We need to embrace AI. It's becoming increasingly infused in the solutions that Microsoft are providing. But it also means a cultural change. For many years, the culture has been on-premise or hybrid. This is shifting to 100% cloud. And it will be seen to be more so as we go on in the future years. It means a cultural change from the perspective that we might have to stop thinking as we did do over the past 10 years and adopting more to how users want to work. There are more millennials coming into the workplace. They want to bring their own devices. They want to use certain applications in order to be able to get work done. And instead, as IT administrators trying to bridle them from achieving, we need to, as IT administrators, begin to facilitate them. And one of the strongest messages out of Microsoft Ignite, this idea of tech intensity, was choosing your partners well. There are a lot of people out there that do Microsoft. Some of them are very, very good at doing this, some of them are bad. There are also ISVs that some are very good, some are very bad. But it is essential that if you're going to be successful today, that it's choosing your tech partners well. We have chosen Acronis, we have chosen Mimecast, we have chosen Exclaimer and DocuSign, and organisations that want the best for our partners and for their customers. Now, some of the platforms that are accelerating this tech intensity, some are Microsoft, some are non-Microsoft. So we see Microsoft 365, Azure, Dynamics 365, and some are non-Microsoft. So there was an agreement with SAP and with Adobe at Ignite about other party solutions that can help you increase your tech intensity and the tech intensity of your customers. Again, Acronis, Mimecast are just two examples of solutions that will accelerate that. The opportunities, why should we have any tech intensity at all? Microsoft listed a number of opportunities for us. There are 10 billion new IoT devices today that are there to be managed, that are there to be sold, that are there to be, or to help customers explain how to use them and use them most effectively. There are over 2 billion frontline workers today who their needs are not being met by the existing solutions that they have. Frontline workers are people that work in organisations such as hospitality, such as mechanics. IT systems today are not all equipped to give those frontline workers the best experience. And there is also an increasing global need for security, trust and compliance. I think that message has come across pretty strong in our earlier talks today. Now, at Ignite, there were some businesses that Microsoft gave as examples of embracing that tech intensity. BMW, Coca-Cola, E.ON, Goodyear, Bueller are all large organisations that have adopted Azure or Microsoft 365 for specific purposes. And we're just going to take one of those as an example. Bueller, they handle 2/3 of the world's grain and maize processing. And they use Azure, so they use the combination of IoT and blockchain to identify harmful toxins that are getting into their production systems. So they use Azure to put sensors into their machine in order to be able to locate those toxins, in order to be able to ensure that their foodstuffs are completely safe from field to fork, but also to increase transparency to both their customers and their vendors, that they're working hard to ensure that their quality of their product. But for Bueller, bringing in Azure and bringing in Microsoft 365 has improved their process control, improved their predictive maintenance, which substantially lowered their total cost of ownership, but also as well helped different parts of their business work more collaboratively over the course of their global footprint. A little bit more closer to home, this is a customer which we worked with one of our partners called iSalon Software. iSalon Software is a 35 user organisation. They're based in Lincoln and in Gatwick, and they provide software solutions for salons, spas and hairdressers. They provide their solutions to over 2,000 customers, serving 8 million of their customers. So for a very small organisation, for only a 35 user, they are serving 8 million customers over 10 countries. And I think one of the things is, and one of the reasons why they wanted to adopt Microsoft 365 was that they wanted to go 100% cloud. Microsoft 365 is a solution that allows an organisation to get rid of their file servers, get rid of their on-premise Active Directory, and go all in 100% cloud. Through its security solutions, such as Microsoft Authenticator, such as Advanced Threat Protection, it allowed them to more easily meet GDPR compliance. It allowed them to begin to control all of their devices. So they had a mixture of Windows 10, iOS, and Android. So both their mobiles, their laptops, their desktops in the office, this was all 100% controllable and manageable from the cloud. It allowed them to collaborate easily between their Lincoln and Gatwick sites. Just holding a meeting, they didn't have to drive up to one site or the other. They could literally hold all of those meetings over Teams. But also as well is it helped their IT departments better focus on their IT problems as opposed to the day-to-day administrative tasks, the fragmented systems. So as well as taking away this idea of tech intensity, it's about infusing Microsoft 365 with AI. How are Microsoft doing this? So one of the examples they gave was Microsoft Ideas. Microsoft Ideas is leveraging AI to create intelligent suggestions in Office. The best example, the easiest that I can give here today is with PowerPoint. So when you create a PowerPoint, I'm not good at design. I hand off all my design work to Jess because I haven't got an eye for these things. I'm a techie at heart. With Microsoft Ideas, I can just throw a couple of pictures into the PowerPoint and some words in a text box, and it will design it for me. It will give me a range of suggestions, and that saves me a huge amount of time trying to figure out what colour schema I should use, what visual things I need to do. That's not my bag, that's not something that I want to get involved in, but AI can almost help me and level the playing field when I want to give those really insightful presentations. And then you also have Microsoft Search. So Microsoft Search is leveraging AI and the Microsoft Graph to create intelligent searching right across the 365 stack. So this search is not only in your Office applications, it's there, it runs through Exchange, it runs through Bing, it runs through SharePoint and OneDrive and the Microsoft 365 control panel. You want to find something anywhere in that ecosystem, you put in a term and it'll search across all of it. That means that your searching is not isolated to particular applications. And you also as well have video and audio transcriptions. So what this is it's leveraging AI to create transcriptions of both audio and video files in Microsoft Stream. What does that mean? This means that you could video record today. You could put that video into Microsoft Teams or Microsoft SharePoint, and then Microsoft 365 will give you an automatic written transcription of that whole video. And then if you put that together with Microsoft Search, you could pick out certain key terms in all of your videos or hone in on parts of videos or audio that will be good to listen to. These are just three little ways in which AI is being fused, and Microsoft are going to be introducing much more of this over the course of the next few years. Takeaway 3, which is teams moving from strength to strength. Can I just have a quick hands up if anyone has heard of Microsoft Teams or uses Microsoft Teams? Wow, that's fantastic. That's about 90% of the room. So very recently, Microsoft announced that there is relatively feature parity between Teams and Skype for Business. We're going to be seeing over the course of the next year a migration from Skype for Business to Microsoft Teams. Going forward, well, even today, so from October the 1st, if you create a new Office 365 tenant and it's under 500 users, Skype for Business doesn't even appear in that tenant anymore. So Microsoft Teams is the vehicle for collaboration going forward. But some things that's important to know about Teams. Over 300,000 organisations today use Microsoft Teams. It's the fastest growing app of all time of Microsoft. And out of the Fortune 100 companies, 87% all use Teams. And this is not just for small to medium businesses, this is organisations that are over 10,000 users in size. So some of those clients that we saw earlier, Vuzion, Coca-Cola, Goodyear, they're all using Microsoft Teams heavily. And one of the focuses this year at Ignite was about all the added functionality, all the added good stuff that Microsoft Teams is going to be able to do. So the first, I'm just going to go quickly run through some of these features, is background blur. And we all know on YouTube, the video that comes up, his daughter is there running in the background. With Microsoft with background blur, that wouldn't have been possible. You can hold your meetings on your phone, on the train, you can do them in your living room, and phase out all of that stuff in the background. So that means that you can get and be able to do your meetings anywhere without any distractions in the background. You have the integration of Staff Hub. Staff Hub was an application which you could book in shifts, and this was specifically designed for those frontline workers. A good example to use is a pub. You have flexible working in pub, like Wetherspoons. You have flexible working in those type of environments. You have a lot of shift workers. They come in every day, but they might do 12 to 6 one day, they might do 6 to 12 the other. Well, Staff Hub allows you to manage all of those shift workers. So again, for frontline worker environments, Staff Hub is being retired, and this is being moved into Microsoft Teams. So going forward, both home and shifts within Microsoft Teams can allow your customers to be able to manage their shift patterns for frontline workers. Data loss prevention, an increasingly important one in terms of security. So data loss prevention is not new in Office 365 and Microsoft 365 environments. It was just always limited to Exchange, SharePoint and OneDrive. Teams has now been brought into the fold. Data loss prevention is all about stopping data leakage and all of that kind of information, that critical information, things like credit card information, PII, being sent outside of the organisation. So Microsoft Teams chat and messages in the channel are also going to be subject to DLP. So let's say you've got a team, and that team includes external members of that team that you're working with in other organisations. You think it might just be easy to put on a chat the credit card details. You can't, no longer be able to put that information out. So Teams as an application is becoming more compliant in line with Exchange, SharePoint and OneDrive. You have more closer links between Teams and Yammer. Yammer is not so much of a used application within Office 365 and Microsoft 365 organisations, but it's enterprise social. What that means is, some people refer to it for Facebook for Business, but it's more like an enterprise social space with which to either collaboratively work on projects or update people on the status of what they're doing with their work. For us, we use Yammer and it is very successful. It's very good for parts of organisations which don't have a voice or need to be more transparent. So Teams and Yammer are becoming more and more integrated, and you can now run Yammer groups right out of Teams. You have the introduction of a new wave of peripherals. Microsoft Teams is not only going to be used for instant messaging and chat, not only for hub and project working, it's also going to be used for voice too. So you can layer on your phone system, you can layer on your call plans onto Microsoft Teams, you can even integrate your own phone systems through direct routing. But now you have the introduction of a much larger wave of peripherals than you do currently. So you have all new Jabra, Yearlink and Plantronics devices that you can use to be on the desk or in those meetings. And if you go to office.com/Teams devices, you can have a look at all of those new peripherals. These could be things that you could do managed services for. These could be things that you source for your customers. These could be things that you advise on and set up and consult on. These give you a massive range of both professional and managed services. And it's just not only these kind of small peripherals, these cameras, these speakers, these phones. It's also about Surface Hub 2. Surface Hub 2 is primed for conferencing, but also as well creating dedicated team rooms. But the great thing about Surface Hub is its mobility. You can actually draw it from room to room. This is available in both Surface Hub 2 and Surface Hub 2S variants. It's available in 2019 and it's purpose-built for Microsoft Teams. So if your organisations are big team users, they're going to be really in line to be able to benefit from our Surface Hub 2. It's lighter, sleeker than its predecessor. It's got a 50.5-inch more than 4K display. And one of the best things about it is it's rotating as well, so you can have it in either the vertical or horizontal positions. And whether it's whiteboarding, teamwork, whether it's actually collaborating on a document, it's a great bit of kit to be able to have. It really increases the productivity of the customer. So takeaway 4. This is Microsoft Managed Desktop. Now, Microsoft Managed Desktop has been discussed, or has been in the news, should I say, for some time. And it's being leaked a little bit at a time. And this thing, so we've had some partners that have contacted us, and some of them, are really happy about this. Others are a little bit worried as managed services provider. We just wanted to relieve a little bit of anxiety about this at a current time. So what is Microsoft's Managed Desktop Service? Microsoft's Managed Desktop Service is a combination of Microsoft 365 E5, so that's software as a service. Of course, Microsoft 365 E5 contains Windows 10 Enterprise, Office 365 Enterprise E5, and the Enterprise Mobility and Security E5. That's probably the top SKU that you can possibly get. I think it's roughly today on the market around about £51 per user per month. Just goes to show. So it not only contains that, but it also means that the organisations will need Microsoft Surfaces. And it also means they need to take up IT support from Microsoft as a service. So there is very stringent meeting criteria that may involve a significant amount of change for the customers wanting to go into Microsoft Managed Desktop as a service. Now, some of the benefits of this, as Microsoft are utilising, is there's keeping your devices up to date, increasing your security and value, increasing stickiness, and the organisation can focus on priorities. And this link here, so if you go to docs.microsoft.com/Microsoft 365/Managed Desktop, it will give you a complete technical overview of what's included within that Managed Desktop service. I guess the first question is, will we be able to sell it? That question remains currently unknown. But what Microsoft has done, right, is it has started its first wave of partners on the Microsoft Managed Desktop service, so Dell and HP and Accenture, with a view to rolling out more in the future. But there is also another path too, because you can go on in advance, look at what Microsoft is doing with this Microsoft Managed Desktop service, and be able to replicate by yourselves into your own Managed Desktop service. It is, after all, a set of SLAs, a set of best working practices, a set of device specifications. Their criteria for going on board with this is Microsoft E5 Surface devices and picking their IT support as a service. In reality, there are going to be very few organisations that are going to be ticking all of those boxes straight away. But what it can do is you can get in there early, you can see what they're doing, replicate their managed service, and then should they bring it out at a later date for partners, you will have the best of all possible worlds in order to be able to do that. The fifth takeaway is Intune's renaissance. Now, Microsoft Intune is an application that's used for the control of your mobile and application management, MDM and MAM. Now, in a 100% cloud world, Intune is all designed to replace what was traditionally SCOM on-premise. So this is controlling what your users can do on their Windows devices, controlling what they can do on their Androids, controlling what they can do on their mobiles. Now, there hasn't been a great deal of updates for Intune over the past maybe 12 to 18 months. And then suddenly, they all came along at once, and we're having something now that Microsoft is saying, we want our customers and our partners to put their customers 100% cloud, but they need really good management that's going to stand up there with the likes of AirWatch and Mobile Eye. So some of the stuff they've introduced, and this for me I think is one of the most exciting things, is Windows 32 apps are now permitted to be deployed by Intune. So you can deploy them as MSIs, as XEs, or as MSPs. And Intune will fully evaluate Windows 10 machines before install. The reason why people weren't going to Microsoft 365 or weren't going 100% cloud was because they still had these Win32 applications on their machines that had to be deployed locally inside their environment, not from the cloud. Well, that's now ended. You can now do that and and use Intune as a deployment mechanism for doing that. You have Windows 10 Security Baseline. So you can apply baseline security policies to your Androids, to your iOS devices, to your Windows 10 devices. You have our 200 user organisation. You want to ensure that each one has a baseline in terms of security. You can apply those baseline policies when you enroll a device within Microsoft Intune, the baseline is applied. It sounds like a very simple thing, but it gets everyone up to a standard level of security with their mobile application and device management. We're seeing fully managed Android. So Intune today does both iOS devices and Android. iOS has much more functionality because you put that mobile device in supervised mode and you have much more management capabilities to be able to do things on iOS and Apple devices than Android. Well, Microsoft have been working with Google, and in the coming months you will have a fully managed Android. A lot of the reasons why organisations don't go with Intune is because of this limited functionality compared to Apple iOS devices. They have large amounts of Android. This, again, the playing field is going to be leveled. You have the Managed Edge browser for iOS and Android, so with Intune, it usually comes with a browser that it pushes out. Now, you can have it fully managed on Microsoft Edge on those Android or iOS devices. And you have a full, singlified, kind of unified panel for all your device and application management. This is something that's been lacking so far. So it makes it very simple. If we have a look up here, you can see down the left-hand side, you can look at it whether in terms of devices, whether in terms of their enrollment or their compliance, you can look at the metrics. You can set things like conditional access policies. So if somebody's inside the inside the customer's premises, they can access. If they're outside roaming, they enforce multi-factor authentication and the like. So these are all really important. The IT administrators of your customers should love all these new functionalities for Intune. And the final takeaway is security. We've had some brilliant oversights from both Acronis and Mimecast today. Sean talked about it, a little bit about it in the Azure session. But security, we were talking about it as being a growing need for security, trust and compliance. If you look into the Microsoft Ignite notes, there it is in spades. Microsoft have developed the security graph. They receive 6.5 trillion signals per day that goes into this. And it shows you some of the metrics here. 1.2 billion devices are scanned every month. 450 billion monthly authentications. 5 billion threats detected on devices every month. So the Microsoft security graph is doing security on a global scale. And it is the graph is linked to every piece of security functionality within Office and Microsoft 365. So some of the known stuff that's coming out is this Microsoft Authenticator. There's a screenshot here. It's passwordless signing. A lot of breaches in organisations are caused by credential harvesting. Getting those credentials, you then have the keys to the kingdom. You go in and can access your corporate devices. There was this mad statistic that they gave out at Ignite, and it was that only 8% globally of admin accounts in Office 365 had multi-factor authentication. 8%. That's horrendous, So there's a big push on trying to find out why, and one of the reasons why was because multi-factor authentication was really, quite difficult to implement. It involved an education piece. Well, the solution to this is this Microsoft Authenticator. It's an app that goes on a phone, that when you log into your services, it will bring up a notification inside your phone's device and it'll ask you to either put in a code in or simply tap a button, and then it will log you into the site. And it's not just Microsoft sites, not just Office 365 or Microsoft 365. You can do it with applications all over the internet. You can do it on WordPress, you can do it on Facebook, you can do it on Twitter, you can do it on Instagram. So you can control your corporate data and identities by using Authenticator. And it's moving to that world of not using passwords anymore, moving to claims-based access, which I'm sure will be easier than all of the password requests your customers get for the 100 different passwords they have for all the applications that they need. You have Microsoft Threat Protection. Sean covered this a little bit. Microsoft are having a bundle on their security offerings. This includes Cloud App Security, Intune, the Windows Defender ATP, and it's all about security across the entire attack surface. So you would use Microsoft Threat Protection in conjunction with solutions like Acronis and Mimecast to not only give you multi-layered security, but protect all the attack vectors. If you have a security vendor that's saying all you need is antivirus and anti-spam on your email and then you'll be okay, that's bad advice. You should be protecting every single touch point that your users use, and you should be looking at what they call a zero trust policy in your customers' organisations. Don't trust anything, assume that you're going to get breached. And in that way we can start considering this unified endpoint management, everything which is directly linked to the Microsoft security graph and increasingly on AI. So we were talking about things being infused by AI. Security will start becoming infused with AI so that it can proactively make adjustments to your security systems to prevent those breaches, those attacks, those credential harvesting, the ransomware. It's becoming increasingly important to have and be protected across the whole attack vector. And then you have Secure Score expansion. So if any of you, again, can I have a hands up about who's used Secure Score? So maybe we've got about 40% here. If any of you don't know, every single Office 365 and Microsoft 365 tenant has Secure Score. Secure Score gives you a boiled down number of how secure your tenant is. This is like literally the bedrock for providing a managed service in security. Because Secure Score will give you suggestions about how you can harden your security posture within your tenant. You don't need to have to expose this to every tenant, but you can use it to give you suggestions. It's a tool, well, what we say is very good to use in the first 90 days of landing. You have finished the migration to Office 365. You've moved their mail, you may have used their files into SharePoint. It's now all about hardening that security posture once they use the service. So you can jump straight into Secure Score, and it'll give you loads of suggestions such as, have you got MFA on your admin accounts? Have you turned on auditing in Office 365? Are you using mobile device management? And the harder the posture, the better the score, and the less chance of a breach. And in Ignite, Secure Score is being expanded, so it doesn't just include stuff from Office 365, it will also include stuff from Windows 10, from Intune and Azure. So Secure Score is going to give you potentially 100% view for your 100% cloud client, all boiled down to a digit, which will give you much, much better direction on your security. So we've covered the 6 takeaways. Those 6 takeaways are about, we've begun with tech intensity right the way through to security. And you can pick up all the announcements in short form by looking online and putting in something from Microsoft Ignite. It's called the Book of News. You can simply put that into your browser and then it will take you to a link to download the PDF and it will give you all of it. But the call to actions today are this. We want to talk to you more about the modern workplace. We want you to be involved more. We want you to get the latest updates. We don't want an event that you come down to every 6 months to find out almost it all and then go away. We want to keep you up to date day to day. Now the first thing you can do is that we have a LinkedIn group that we've established. It's called the Vuzion Modern Workplace Group. you can join that today. And that'll give you almost a daily update on everything to do with modern workplace. So it covers Office 365, Microsoft 365, it covers the Enterprise Mobility Suite, Windows 10, Mimecast, Acronis, Symantec, a whole breadth of application and solutions that you can use with your customers. But also as well, we are starting on the 22nd, and Jess is going to have this up on the Vuzion site in the next few days, is we're starting a modern workplace business value and demo track webinars. Every single week, 1 week is going to be business value, the other is going to be a demo, to be able to show you both the value and how to actually use it itself. This has been a big black hole so far. We want to help you with these things. We want to raise your education. So for the demo, have the technicians attend the technical demos. For everyone in the commercial, the business value sessions will be more about how we pitch these solutions to customers. What is their value? What problems can they actually solve? And we have some great stuff coming soon as well. So we're arranging with Microsoft, I'm organising it with Sam, is that we're going to have several modern workplace in a day sessions. That's when you can come along to a Microsoft place in Paddington, Dublin, and come and see how we work with Microsoft 365 every day and how we deploy each of those solutions. We have spring sessions by key industry speakers coming along in the springtime, so that's February. All those announcements will be made on the LinkedIn group. We're introducing a site on the main website specifically for modern workplace. So this is going to be where all our case studies are housed, where you can actually see how we are implementing these solutions. And also we're going to be establishing the partner voice. So that means we're going to be working with you for you to tell us what more we need to do to make things more successful to you. So you can catch up on my social. You can see my social details on both on LinkedIn and on Twitter. So please keep in touch. And I would just like to thank you. And I hope it's been all informative for you today. Any questions?